What is going on, Cardano peeps? Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some ecosystem-wide updates coming to Cardano. Now, if it's your first time here, my name is Fareed, and as a part of this channel, I cover all of the top updates within Cardano. And so if this channel interests you, make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, then make sure to leave those down below. Jumping straight into the updates, first thing I want to talk about is going to be the unique account growth in Cardano dApps. Coming in at number one, we have the Genius Yield DEX, which is going to be an order book style DEX building on Cardano. Now they have a recent account growth of over 2,800%. Now this is not by coincidence. The Genius team has just released their first set of rewards for their ISPO delegators. So double check your wallets. If you delegated as a part of this ISPO, you may have a brand new New Year's gift inside of your wallet. Now we've seen over 1,700 brand new accounts interacting with this dApp, again, which I think is directly related to the release of their staking dApp. Coming in at number two, we have AADA Finance. Now this is going to be a lending and borrowing protocol, and they've had a recent account growth of over 329%, which equates to about 185 brand new accounts interacting with this protocol. Coming in at number three, we have Crypto Dino, which is a gaming project building on Cardano. And then behind them, we have the Wing Riders DEX. Now, Wing Riders just released on the testnet their stable swap feature. This will essentially allow for users to simply swap between two assets of a same value. Now, in this case, they're starting off with the USD stablecoins, and they've also seen a growth of over 4,200 accounts interacting with their DEX. So good job to the Wing Riders team. They've seen a lot of continuous growth as they continue to develop on Cardano. Coming in at number five, we have Epoch Art, which is a marketplace. And then behind them, we have Vi Finance, which is also a DeFi project with over 633 accounts interacting with their platform over the course of the last 5 days. And then coming in at number seven, we have another NFT marketplace, which is Explosive. And then at number eight, SpaceBuds. Number nine, Fluid Tokens. And then coming last at number 10 is AdaDAO, which is a community-driven platform. Next, I want to talk about the World Mobile Token and their recent release of the Earth Node NFTs. Now, if it's your first time hearing about the World Mobile project, they're essentially aiming to provide telecom services to all the nations around the world. Now, as an Earth Node operator, you'll also be able to actually contribute directly to their efforts. Now, previously, you were able to reserve your Earth Nodes, and right now, we can see that the Earth Node NFTs are now available for claiming. So these NFTs are live, and they can also be purchased on the secondary marketplace. Now, I do want to say that we've seen these sell for crazy amounts on JPEG.store over the course of the last 5 days. I believe the very first one actually sold for 135,000 ADA. Now, do keep in mind that the reason why these are actually so expensive is that in order to have actually reserved a single NFT, you would have had to actually put up a total of 60,000 of the World Mobile Token. But being the fact that they're actually selling for over 100,000 ADA, I believe puts them at number one in terms of sales over the course of the last few days on JPEG.store. Now, there's only going to be 1,000 of these Earth Node NFTs, which again, I think adds to their rarity. Moving right along, we have TeddySwap, which I want to highlight, which is going to be a stablecoin DEX coming to Cardano. Now, as you guys can see here, this will be very similar to what we just saw with the Wing Riders testnet for their stable swap feature. So TeddySwap will be focusing on the top stablecoins on Cardano. They'll also be able to earn, or you will also be able to earn yield when providing liquidity for their stablecoin pairs. Very lastly, you'll be able to minimize impermanent loss by providing liquidity to stable assets. So the cool thing about these particular stable swap platforms building, again, TeddySwap and Wing Riders, is that when you're actually going to be participating as a part of a stable swap pool, there's going to be very little to no slippage impact for bigger trades. And then on top of that, there's going to be a decreased risk when it comes to impermanent loss. Now, some of the functionality that we can expect from TeddySwap include democratized ownership, efficient liquidity, and yield farming capabilities. If you guys want to find out more about TeddySwap, you can head over to their website, which is teddyswap.org. Next, we have the Eternal project, which has essentially confirmed that as a part of their V1.10 launch, you can now support, or they now support, encrypted messages. Now, this is going to be as a part of SIP 0020. Now, as it states here, you can send a transaction with encrypted text to someone else, or you can simply add notes to yourself for transactions that only you can read. So if I pop up this picture here, as you guys can see, you can essentially choose whether or not you want to encrypt the message tagged with your actual transaction. So this is really cool for security. Obviously, you know, this is something that you may not necessarily need to use all the time, but if you're potentially sending something and you want that to be private and you want to add a note to it, you can go ahead and do that. Now, this is also really cool because I personally use Chase, or that's who I bank with right now in terms of fiat, and they also have like this note feature. However, it's not necessarily encrypted, so this seems like a one-up in terms of that particular feature and functionality. Again, if you guys want to find out more about this team, I'll go ahead and leave the links to them down in the description below. Next, we have W3 Ride. Now, this is going to be a sweat to earn platform, and I say sweat lightly. Basically, you can go ahead and cycle, and you can actually earn their token as a part of their platform. So as it states here, you can connect, earn, and express your love for cycling in a new way, which is the Web3 Ride app, or the W3 Ride app. Now, the beta version is going to be aiming to come at the end of this year, and right now they do seem to be building. Again, if you guys want to find out more about this project, I'll leave the links to them down in the section below. Next, we have a personal favorite of mine, which is the Cornucopias game. Now, I actually just released a fully dedicated video to their updated roadmap for 2023, but as it states here, their 2022 roadmap was completed, and they're now updating their 2023 roadmap. So if we check that out, they've got a ton of different information there, and what they actually call is their Copy Wiki, which is essentially a live document which documents all of the changes coming to their platform. Again, if you guys are interested in finding out more about Cornucopias, then definitely check out their link down in the comment section below. Next, we have AADA Finance, who is now bringing instant liquidity to their platform, which will eliminate the waiting time for borrowers, and it'll also help them to connect with lenders almost instantly. Now, you can check out this new feature by heading over to app.aada.finance, which I actually have opened up here in this separate tab. On top of the instant liquidity, though, you can now borrow IUSD, which is a stable coin or a synthetic stable coin built by the Indigo protocol. You can also borrow the Indy token, which is the native governance token for the Indigo protocol, as well as the Yumi token, which is an NFT project. On top of that, you can now use the Wing Riders token and the Copy token for the Cornucopias game as collateral on their platform. So they are also continuing to build during this bear market. The next highlight that I want to mention is going to be Mesh.js. Now, Mesh.js is going to be a development platform for developers building on Cardano, and their goal is to simplify the development process by providing an SDK. So they've now released version 1.3.0 of the Mesh SDK, and if you guys want to find out what's actually new here, we can see that minting native assets with Plutoscripts is now new. On top of that, we can also prove wallet ownership with DataSign, and you can also now support staking for transactions, as well as support for reference scripts or SIP33. Again, go ahead and check these guys out. I've actually used them for something that I'm actually building right now, which is in the works, which I'll be announcing over the course of the next 30 days. So stay tuned for that. And again, I want to give a big shout out to the Mesh.js team. I actually jumped into their Discord, and they were more than happy to help me figure out all of my issues. Next, we have CNFT Jungle, and they're going to be an NFT analysis as well as an alerts platform building on Cardano. So they now have additional multi-wallet portfolios and tracking, which will consist of global wallet ranks, wallet valuations, wallet relations, which I think is actually pretty cool. Hopefully we'll be able to kind of use this to kind of see how NFTs are moving across different wallets. And then we also have full activity in terms of mints, buys, sells, and trade history, as well as a profit and loss calculator, tax reporting, which actually that's really cool. So you'll be able to essentially review how much tax you may have incurred, and then you'll be able to export that directly for reporting to the IRS or whatever government agency you have to report to. On top of that, they'll also have a holding overview, and then you can actually see some of their previews here in the screenshot that I have opened up. Next, we have Poke, which is going to be very similar to CNFT Jungle. Now, this is going to be an NFT portfolio platform building on Cardano, and I've also released a recent video highlighting this all in detail. Now, they are going to have a web browser version as well as a mobile version, which I think is really, really sleek. Now, if you guys want access to this platform and you're interested in what they're building, they do also offer a lifetime pass, and so that'll essentially give you access to their premier platform, which gives you access to additional price history. They'll also have NFT alerts and a lot building, and coming as a part of Q2 and Q3 of this year. Moving right along, we're getting close to the end of this. We have the Begin wallet, and they've now released that they're now working on ledger integration. Now, if you don't know what ledgers are, it's basically a hardware wallet adding an additional layer of security for your crypto holdings. So they now have released this video here, which essentially shows them connecting to a Ledger hard wallet. Now, I don't necessarily have a lot of experience with this particular platform, but I do plan on doing an in-depth review of the Begin wallet, being that they're now gaining a lot of traction, and I'm now hearing a lot about what they're actually building on the Cardano network. Now, I do also want to mention that this particular platform does also have a mobile version of their wallet, which again is really, really common now. There's a ton of different projects now moving to mobile, and hopefully we continue to see that trend. Now, coming to the close of this video, I could not close this off without talking about one of my favorite DeFi projects, which is Meld. Now, Meld has recently announced that they will be launching on the testnet, which will actually be kicking off on January 16th of this year. Now, if you guys have not already registered to sign up for their testnet, they will be selecting 500 people, and if I'm not mistaken, they now have over 3,500 participants that have registered for their platform. Now, they have not necessarily announced who is actually going to be participating just yet, but if I do get a spot within that, you guys can definitely expect to see additional content coming from myself related to their testnet. That is going to wrap it up. Again, I mentioned to you guys that this will be a pretty quick video in which I kind of just highlight a ton of different updates. I do want to give a shout out to Ada Whale for some of these updates. I did see them mentioned as a part of his thread. Now, that said, Cardano continues to see a ton of development. We've also seen a big uptick in terms of ADA volume, in terms of price. Now, as you guys know, this is not necessarily a trading platform or a trading channel, but I did want to highlight again what we're seeing in terms of building in the ecosystem. If you guys found any of the information covered as a part of this video to be helpful, then please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, then make sure to leave those down in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next video.